What's up you guys, it's Nasim here. Now today I'm going to be giving you guys a special look at the amazing Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Plus. Now the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus is one of the few tablets in 2022 that I feel doesn't get enough recognition for how good it actually is. It has an amazing processor that allows you to put it through heavy use. It has an amazing software that allows you to turn it into a laptop, a top of the line display that improves your visual experience, and last but not least, it has a great size that isn't too big and definitely isn't too small. And even though the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus is a great tablet that many people will love, the only problem that I have with it is the main problem that anyone can have when deciding to buy a product, and that's the price. Now the price of the Tab S8 Plus is a problem for me because it's basically the same exact tablet as the regular Tab S8, but just a little bigger. And that's not the problem. The actual problem is, why is there a $200 price difference between the two? A bigger screen is not worth an extra $200, and I feel like this could turn many people away from the S8 Plus. But besides that, I think that if you are someone who is willing to spend the extra $200 or you can get a deal, this is an amazing tablet that you won't regret. But before I give you guys some insight as to how great the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus is, the first thing you have to do is unbox this thing, right? Now the first thing that I noticed when it came to unboxing the Tab S8 Plus was the fact that the box had a very cool white aesthetic to it. Like on the front, you have the white Galaxy Tab text on the top. Underneath that, you have the Galaxy Tab with the Bluetooth S Pen. And on the bottom, there's the black Galaxy Tab S8 Plus text to match the aesthetic. Now, something that I was really surprised by when it came to the box was the fact that it was extremely thin compared to last year's Tab S7 Plus. And the reason that the box is so thin is because the Tab S8 itself is very, very thin, and because this year Samsung will not include the charging brick in the box and will only come with the charging cable. Now the first thing that we see in the box is the Tab S8 Plus itself, and again, if we do a side profile, we can see just how thin it is, and this will definitely help with its portability, like whenever you're putting it in a filled book bag. Now when we look at the back of the Tab S8 Plus, we can see that it has the same exact back as the Tab S7 Plus with the 2-camera setup along with the flash. Also, you can see that there's a long line beside the camera, and this is where you'll be able to put your Bluetooth S Pen. On the left, we have the Samsung logo branding, and on each side of the tablet, we again have the same design that can be found on the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, along with the AKG branding on the bottom. Now on the left side of the Tab S8 Plus, we have two of our quad speakers along with the microphone in the middle. On the bottom, we have our connector along with the mounting system for your Samsung keyboard. On the right, there's the USB Type-C charging port along with the other two speakers. And last but not least, on the top, we have our micro SD slot along with our mic, up and down volume rockers, and the power button. Now when we look at the display, I really loved how clean and sleek it looked. Like right here, you can see the bezels are extremely thin, especially when compared to other tablets, and the display is very comparable to the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. Now the final things that we have in the box is our Bluetooth S Pen that also has a side button for wand gestures, our starter guide, and our USB Type-C to USB Type-C charging cable, which again means that we will not be getting a charger brick in the box. Now the Galaxy Tab S8 comes in 3 different colors, starting with silver, pink gold, and graphite, which is the one that I have. And I must say that this is definitely the best color for everyday use. Like right here, you can see that it has a very grayish black look that gives off a very professional and sleek vibe while also maintaining that classic Galaxy Tab look. Even when we look at it in the light, you can see that the matte sides makes the gray look even nicer, and the glossy parts of the Tab S8 Plus fit in very well. Like right here, you can see that the cutout of where the S Pen is lines up with the camera to make the S Pen's placement look even cooler than on the Tab S7 Plus. Even right here, when we compare it side by side with my MacBook Pro, it looks just as professional and can definitely blend in if you're at the office, at school, or even at your local coffee place. Now the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus has a 12.4-inch TFT display that also supports 120Hz refresh rate and has a brightness that can go up to 500 nits, which is 100 nits lower than the iPad Pro 12.9-inch. And even though the display is 100 nits lower than the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, I would say that it was extremely bright and was still able to hold its own weight, which was especially great for its cheaper price. Like right here, you can see just how bright the screen is, and no matter how bright it gets in my house, I'm still able to see everything without putting it on max brightness. And looking at the display, I would say that the quality was one of the best that I had ever experienced on a tablet. Like right here, you can see that whenever I watch something on my S8 Plus, the resolution is still amazing. The colors are vibrant, the realistic aspect is still there when it comes to sharpness, and the bezels are super slim, so the watching experience was the best that I had ever seen on a tablet. And to show you guys what I mean, here are some examples of me playing games and watching videos. Now when we look at the build quality on the Tab S8 Plus, I will say that it's surprisingly really good when compared to the Tab S7 Plus. The Tab S8 Plus has a really good weight to it, and it also has Corning Gorilla Glass 5, so that means it's pretty durable, and if you drop or sit on it, it will more than likely be perfectly fine, but again, it's still good to get a case. Even when we look at the S Pen, I would say that it was as hard as a rock, so if you ever sit on it or your little kids or little siblings end up messing with it, the pen is strong enough to withstand a lot. Now the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus has a 13 megapixel wide and a 10 megapixel telephoto that records up to 4K at 60 frames per second. Also on the front we have a 12 megapixel selfie camera that, just like on the back cameras, is pretty good for a tablet. And looking at the sample photos, we can see that the daytime outside photos were the best, the colors were vibrant, the sharpness was pretty great, but there were times where it could be a little too sharp and my skin tone was pretty accurate. Next up, when we look at the daytime inside photos, I would say that these also perform very well. Like right here, you can see that the colors were still very accurate, the sharpness was still great, and there were times where there were mild graininess, but it still looked really good. Next up, when we look at the nighttime outside photos, we can see that the night mode was able to let a lot of light in to give it a quality photo. The sharpness was still pretty great, but my skin tone was lighter than normal, which kind of threw off the pic. And the nighttime inside photos were still pretty good, but the grain was still higher than usual. But once I turned on the lights, the quality was much better and there was very little grain. And when it comes to the additional specs, the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus supports 45 watt fast charging. It has a 10,090 milliamp hour battery. It has a Qualcomm Snapdragon Gen 8 One, and it has storage that goes from 128 gigs to 256 gigs and goes all the way up to 12 gigs of RAM. And there it is, you guys, my review on the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus. Now let me know down below, do you guys think that the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus is the best tablet in the lineup? Let me know. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, I would like to say thank you for sticking around. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe, it will be very appreciated. And as far as social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.